Hello and welcome to Darshan IAS. Today, in this session, we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is subject verb agreement. And this topic is very important because almost in every competitive exams, if it has English as a subject, it comes at least 1 to 2 questions from this topic, subject verb agreement. So this topic has a very important value in your every competitive exams. It may be SSC, it may be banking, it may be CGL, it may be your teaching exams like CTET, DSSSB, UPTET, SuperTET and other competitive exams. Okay, so we are going to discuss this topic today, and with this topic we are going to discuss 12 rules. We have 12 rules in subject verb agreement, and before going to the rules we have to understand what is a subject verb agreement. Ultimately, what is a subject verb agreement? So before understanding that, we have to understand what is a subject and then what is a verb, and then we will understand what is an agreement between subject and verb. Okay, so what is subject verb agreement? We have to understand this first. Subject verb agreement refers to the fact that the subject and the verb in a sentence must agree in number. Okay, so first of all we need to understand what is a subject. If a statement is given, if a sentence is given, in the sentence whom we are talking about, is our subject. Okay, for example, here we have statement Ram and Shyam are coming, which means here we are talking about Ram and Shyam. So Ram and Shyam are our subject. Okay, and what is verb? Verb is that talks about some action, state or being. Okay, so verb is that tell us about some action, state or being. So in this statement, what is a verb? Are is a verb. Are is a verb. Okay, so we can see here subject is Ram and Shyam, and what is the verb? Verb is are over here. Okay, so now we have to see what is the relation, what is the agreement between subject and verb. And the rule says that subject verb agreement says that subject and verb both should agree in number, which means if a subject is singular, then the verb should also be in singular number. If the subject is plural, then the verb should also be plural. Okay, so in other words, they both must be singular or they both must be plural. If the subject is singular, the verb should also be plural. If the subject is plural, then the verb should also be plural. Okay, you must have a singular subject with a plural verb or vice versa. You can't have a singular subject with plural verb or a plural subject with singular verb. You just can't have. Okay, because it must agree with number. Subject and verb both should be in the same number. If the subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb should also be plural. This is the first and foremost topic. This is the first and foremost agreement between subject and verb. This is called subject verb agreement. Is it clear? Now we are going to discuss some certain rules on the basis of which, because of not knowing these rules, we make so many mistakes in our exams. Okay, and in certain exams many questions come on the basis of this topic only, on subject verb agreement. Okay, so we make mistakes identifying the subject and verb. So to reduce this problem, to cope with this problem, we are here to understand subject verb agreement so that we can give the appropriate answer, right answer in our competitive exams. Okay, so let us start with rule number 1. And the rule number says that two singular subjects take plural verbs when they are joined together with conjunction and. When two singular subjects are joined together with conjunction and, they are counted as plural subject, and if a plural subject is there, then the verb should also be plural. Is it clear that I have told you earlier? Okay, so example here is, here we have the example number 1, and that says Ram and Shyam are coming. Ram and Shyam. Here we have conjoined two singular subject. One singular subject is Ram, another singular subject is Shyam, and we have added both together with the conjunction and, here. So in this case, what happens? Our subject becomes plural. Our subject is Ram and Shyam. Now our subject is Ram and Shyam, and Ram and Shyam has become a plural subject because two are there. Okay, if it is plural, then the verb should also be plural. This is why we have used are here. Are is a plural verb. Plural verb. Clear? Are is a plural verb, and is, and what is the singular verb of are is we cannot use. Why? We have two subjects here that are joined together with conjunction and rule number 1 says that if two singular subjects are joined together with conjunction and, they become plural subject, and hence they will take plural verb, that is are. So we have used are over here. Is it clear? Okay. Next example. Rohan and Rahul are playing carom. Here again we have two singular subjects. One singular subject is Rohan and second singular subject is Rahul, but they are joined together with the conjunction and. In this case they become plural subject. In this case they become a plural subject, and what is our plural subject is Rohan and Rahul. In this case also it will take a plural verb. So we have used are over here. Ram and Shyam are playing carom. Is it clear? This is the rule number 1. Again I am revising you. When two singular subjects are joined together with conjunction and, they are counted as plural subject, and since they are plural subject, they will take always the plural verb, that is are over here. Is it clear? Okay. So before moving to the rule number 2, subscribe my channel so that you can get the notifications of my next videos and press the bell icon. Okay. If you like this video, just hit the like button also. Next, here we have rule number 2. For rule number 2, the rule number 2 says that two singular subjects, if they are joined with conjunction and but denote to only one thing or person, then it will take a singular verb. That we have studied. What we have studied in the last rule, when two singular subjects are joined together with conjunction and, they take plural verb. But there is a case that when two singular subjects are joined together with conjunction and, but they denote to any singular subject, they denote to any singular thing, singular noun or pronoun. In this case they will have the singular verb. For example, here example number 1, dal and rice. Dal is singular, rice is singular, because both are uncountable. In this case they are counted as singular. Okay, dal and rice is my favorite dish. Why? Dal and rice both are connected with the conjunction and, and according to rule number 1 it should be plural, but we are counting it as singular subject. Why? Because dal and rice both together are making what? Making dish, and dish is the singular subject. What? Singular subject. So our subject is not dal and rice. Our subject is dish, and dish is singular, so we will use a singular verb, that is here. Singular verb, that is here. Is it clear? This is the rule number 2. Next, second example. My friend, philosopher and guide has come. What is the logic over here? My friend, philosopher and guide has come. What is the logic over here? Which means when we use comma over here between the people, okay, then what we have to do, my friend comma philosopher and guide, which means I am talking about only one person, that is my friend. And who is philosopher? My friend is philosopher and he is the guide also. He is the guide also. In this case we will use singular subject because I am talking about only my friend and who is a singular subject. And because it is singular subject, then we will use a singular verb. Singular verb. Okay, and that is has. Clear? This is the rule number 2. Note, we have some exception over here. We have some exception over here. If article is given before every subject, then it will take a plural verb. If article is given before the every subject, every singular subject, then it will take a plural verb because the subjects will be counted as plural. Okay, how? The commander, article is there, the commander. A soldier, which means article is again is there, and a constable, which means they are not the one person, they are different people. The commander is one, soldier is second, and constable is third person. Because article is given over here, because of article we will count them as separate person. Okay, because we have separate three persons, three people are there, which means our subject becomes plural. Our subject becomes plural, and when we have the subject plural, we have to use plural verb, that is have over here. And what is the singular subject, singular verb of have is has, but we are not going to use this. Why? We have a plural subject, and the plural subject is a commander, a soldier and a constable have come for the operations. Is it clear? I hope it is clear. Okay, let's move to the next topic, next rule. Rule number 3. In rule number 3, it says as well as, with, along with, together with, and, not, in addition to, but, besides, except, rather than, accompanied by, like, unlike, no less than, nothing but, take singular verbs. You have to keep in your mind these words. If any of these words you see in your exams, what you have to do? You will have to take a singular verb with this. You have to take a singular verb with the subject. Okay, how? She as well as her friends. So we have to do what? We have to ignore her friends. What we have to see? She, and she is singular. Because she is singular, so it will take a singular verb. So we have used is, which is singular. Is it clear? Why? We have used as well as, and according to rule number 3, as well as takes singular verb. Clear? Next, rule number example number 2. Mother, unlike her kids, is generous. We have a word unlike. If a word unlike is there, which means it makes the subject singular. Because our subject is singular, then it will take a singular verb, which is generous is here. Sorry, is here. Again is. Clear? Next, rule number 3. The captain along with sailors, along with. Here we can see a word along with. According to rule number 3, it says that if there is a word along with, in this case the captain, which means the subject, will become a singular subject. If the subject is singular, then the verb will also be singular. So we have used was here over here. Okay, singular verb which is was, and plural verb is were. But we will not use were, we will use was. Why? Because our subject is singular. A captain is singular. Okay, along with indicates that our subject is singular. In this case we will use a singular verb. Clear? This is all about the rule number 3. Next, rule number 4. What rule number 4 says? When two subjects are joined together with either or, neither nor, not only but also, nor, or, none but, then verb is taken according to the nearest subject. Nearest subject. Nearest to what? Nearest to verb. Nearest to verb. In a statement, you have to see what subject is near to verb. You have to treat the verb according to the nearest subject. How? Example is there. Neither Shyam nor Ram. Here we have seen neither nor. If neither nor is there, we have to treat according to nearest subject. Neither Shyam nor Ram. Now verb is here, the place of verb is here, okay, and the nearest subject is Ram. The nearest subject is Ram, and Ram is what? Ram is singular. So what we have to do? We have to treat the verb according to the nearest subject, and because our nearest subject Ram is singular, so we have to use the singular verb, that is has. Clear? Next, rule number 2. Either Ram or his friends. Either Ram or his friends. Either or. Here. Either or. Either or takes what? The nearest subject, and the place of verb is here and the nearest subject is here, that is friends. Friends. And friends is what? Plural. Because our nearest subject is friends and friends is plural, so it becomes our nearest subject is plural. If our nearest subject is plural, then in this case we have to do what? We have to treat our verb according to the nearest subject, which will be plural. Because when a subject is plural, then the verb should also be plural. This is why we have used have. Clear? This is all about the rule number 4. Next, now rule number 5. Rule number 5 says neither of, either of take singular verb. Neither of, either of take singular verb. Neither of his 4 sons is at fault. It takes singular verb. Neither of his 4 sons. We do not have to see the 4 sons. That is not our subject. Okay, we have to see neither of, which means none of the 4 sons, which means we are talking about no one of the 4 sons. No one is there. One is always singular. If the one is singular, then the verb should also be singular, and that is is. Is it clear? Which is why we have used is. Neither of the 4 sons is at fault. Next, our next example. Either of the 2 players is good, which means we are talking about either of the 2 players, which means we are talking about any one of the 2 players. When we are talking about one of the 2 players, which means we are talking about one. One means our singular subject. When the subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. This is why we have used is over here. Clear? This is all about rule number 5. Note, either of is used for 2 subjects only. Clear? Neither of we can use for more than 2, but either of is always used for 2 subjects only. That you have to keep in your mind. Clear? Next. Now, rule number 6. What rule number 6 says? Verb is treated according to the main subject. We have to find out what is the main subject in our statement. We have to find out what is our main subject in our statement, and statement says, for example, the quality of apples is good. What is the main subject? We have to find out what is the main subject. What we make mistakes in this kind of sentences, we make a mistake, we consider apples as our subject, but apples are not our subject. We are talking about the quality. not apples. We are not talking of apples, we are talking about the quality of apples. And the quality is abstract noun. Abstract noun is considered as uncountable, and uncountable is singular. Okay, so the quality is singular noun. When the singular noun becomes our subject, which means we have a singular subject. When our subject is singular, then the verb will also be singular, which is why we have used is over here. Clear? The quality of apples. We are talking about quality, not apples. We are talking about the quality of apples, which is singular. In this case, it becomes a singular subject which will take a singular verb. Clear? Next. She and not her friends is good enough, which means we are talking about she, not her friends. We have to ignore her friends. We have to ignore her friends. We have to see our subject is she. Our subject is she, and because she is singular, she is singular. And because she is singular, which means our subject is singular, in this case we will use a singular verb, which is again is here. Clear? This is how we will solve this kind of questions. This is all about the rule number 6. Next. Now, the rule number 7. Singular verb is taken with a collective noun. If the collective noun is there, we have to use singular verb, because when the collective noun is there, which means we are talking about one collection of the things. If one collection of the things is there, which means we are talking about singular subject. One means singular, and the subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. Okay, so see the example. The pack of dogs was barking. What is our subject? Dogs? No. Dogs is not our subject. Our subject is the pack. And the pack is one. The pack is one. One means singular. And one means singular. When the subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. Was barking. Which is why we have used was, not were. Were barking. Dogs were barking. No. It was barking. The pack of dogs was barking. We are talking about pack. Pack is singular. Is it clear? And the pack is the collective noun for dogs. Is it clear? This is the rule number 7, first example. Then another example says that the jury has secured its decision. The jury. Now we are talking about the jury. The jury means collection of judges. The team of judges is called jury. Okay, and the jury is one, the collection is one, in which case we will use singular verb. The subject is singular, so we will use singular verb, which is its. The jury has secured its decision, not their decision. Is it clear? Next, note. If there is diversity in the action of collection, then it takes a plural verb, which means we have a collective noun, and in the collection the people are there or things are there, and their actions are different, in which case we will use the plural verb. For example, the jury are divided in their opinion. How? Here we have treated jury as singular, but here we will use jury as plural. Why? Here the jury has secured its decision, which means only one decision was there. Only one decision was there of all the judges, which means the jury has secured its decision, which means jury was one. The jury was one collection of many judges who have secured only one decision. Okay, but here the opinion are different of the judges, of the members of judges. Of the jury members have the different opinions, which means we will use plural verb. The jury are divided in their opinions. Here we have to use a plural verb. Why? The jury are divided in their opinions because they have their different opinions, which means a collection of judges is there, that is called jury, and every judge has its own different opinion, which means they are giving their diversified opinions, they are different opinions, which means their opinions are more than one. If their opinions are more than one, which means they are divided now. If they are divided, which means they are become more than one in the opinion. In this case, if they are more than one, which means they are plural, in this case we will use the plural verb, that is are. Clear? Next, the second example, the audience have taken their seats. The audience have taken their seats. Here we have the example of rule number 7. Here the audience is the collection of people who watch some match, tournament, or any kind of performance, stage performance, or anything there. Okay, audiovisual performance. Any audiovisual performance, the one sees, that is called audience. Audience means the people, so many people are watching the audiovisual performance, that are called audience. Okay, but because so many people are there in the audience and they are taking seats, which means they are taking their different seats. All the audience cannot sit on the one single seat, they have to sit in their different seats. I will sit on my own seat, someone else will sit on another seat, which means the seats are different, the audience are sitting on the different seats, which is why we will treat the audience as plural, because their seats are different. Their seats are different. This is why we have used have, because our audience have become here as plural. Clear? This is all about rule number 7. If you think I teach so fast, what you can do, you slow down the video play mode. Okay. Next, rule number 8. What rule number 8 says? When we talk about amount, quantity, distance, number, weight, period, height, we take singular verb. Okay, when we talk about the amount, quantity, distance, number, weight, period, height, etc., we take singular verb. For example, 10,000 rupees is a big amount. Now we are talking about amount. We are not talking about the 10,000 rupees. And what is our subject is? Amount. Our subject is amount, not the 10,000 rupees. We are talking about the amount. When we talk about amount is always take a singular verb, and which is why we have used is over here. Clear? 10,000 rupees is a big amount, not are a big amount, because we are talking about amount, not 10,000 rupees. Here again, 5 kilometers is a big distance. Why? We are talking about distance, not 5 kilometers. We are talking about distance. Distance as per the rule number 8, and distance takes singular verb, so we will use is over here. Is a big distance, not are a big distance. Is it clear? Next, but we have an exception over here. Note, when we talk about the units of amount, quantity, distance, number, weight, period, height, we take plural verb. But when we will take the units of these amount, quantity, number, weight, period, height, etc., we have to use it as plural. How? 10,000 rupees are spent on the dinner. Now we are not talking about the amount. Now we are talking about the 10,000 rupees. How many rupees are spent? 10,000 rupees spent. So 10,000 rupees is a big amount, that is plural. Because 10,000 rupees is a plural amount, we have to use the plural verb, that is are over here. 10,000 rupees are a big amount. Are spent on the dinner, not is spent. Okay, 1 rupee is spent, but 10,000 rupees are spent. Clear? Next, 5 kilometers have been covered by the runner. 5 kilometers are again plural. It will take a plural verb, that is have been, not has been. Okay, so 5 kilometers have been covered by the runner, not has been. Why? We are talking about 5 kilometers, which is more than 1 kilometer has been covered and 5 kilometers have been covered. Is it clear? Next, now we are talking about rule number 9, and what rule number 9 says: each, every, someone, somebody, none, nobody, one, any, many, a, more than one, take singular verb. Any of the word is there in your sentence, then what you have to do? You have to treat the subject as singular and you will take a singular verb with it. Okay, for example, each of the two students is happy. Why? We are talking about each. Each means one. Each means one. We are talking about one out of the two students. When we are talking about one, and one is always singular. When one is singular, which means our subject is singular and the verb will also be singular, which is here. Is. Clear? Next, many a children. Many a means one. Many means more than one, which means we are talking about one out of many. One out of many. Again, we have only one subject, which means singular subject. When the singular subject is there, then we will use a singular verb, which is playing. Many a children is playing, not are playing. Okay, why? Our subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. Next question. Example number 3. More than one boy is eating. Now again we are talking about one. According to rule number 9, more than one is always treated as singular subject and it takes a singular verb, which is eating. More than one boy is eating, not are eating. Clear? This you have to take in your mind, because we make so many mistakes of subject verb agreement on our daily to daily life and in our writing portion also. Okay, so this is why I am teaching you this topic, which is very important for you, not in the exam point of view but your daily life point of view. Okay, we use so many grammatical errors in our daily life that are based on subject verb agreement. Okay, now we have the rule number 10. In case of wish or suppose, we use verb with singular subject. Okay, what we have to see here: in case of wish or suppose, we have to use verb. With singular subject. What is the rule of past continuous tense? Singular subject and plural subject. With singular subject we use was, and with plural subject we use were. Okay, with singular subject we use was, with plural subject we use were. Then, but according to rule number 10, if we talk about any wish or suppose, we are wishing for to be something or we are supposing for something. Okay, in that case we will use were, not was, with singular subject. This is exceptional case. Okay, for example, I wish I were a king. I is a singular subject and we use was with I, but because we are wishing, we will use were, not was. Is it clear? I wish I was a king. No, I wish I were a king. Clear? Because we are wishing, and this is rule number 10 of subject verb agreement. Next, the rule number 2. If I were rich, I would support orphans. If I were rich, I would support orphans, which means I am supposing to be rich. Okay? In this case also we will use were. Why? In case of suppose also we use were, not was. Clear? This is rule number 10. Next, now we have rule number 11, And the rule number 11 says that scissors, tongs, pliers, pincers, bellows, trousers, pants, pajamas, shorts, gallows, spectacles, goggles, binoculars, sunglasses, arms, amends, archives, areas, auspicious, congratulations, ambers, fireworks, lodgings, outskirts, particulars, proceeds, regards, riches, remains, savings, surroundings, tidings, troops, tactics, thanks, valuables, wages, belongings, braces, etc. are plural nouns. They are plural nouns and take plural verb, and they cannot be changed into singular verb by omitting as. Thanks is there. Thanks is a plural noun. We cannot omit as. We cannot omit as, and we cannot make it thank. Okay, and pants is there. Pants is there. We cannot omit as to make it singular. It is always plural. It is always plural. Ants. Ants is there. We cannot omit as to make it singular. It is always plural. It is always plural. Because it is plural, we have to take plural verb with it. Okay, where are my shorts? Are my shorts. We are talking about shorts, which is plural, so we will use plural verb, that is are. So we have to take these words in our mind that are always treated as plural subject. Okay, all his assets were seized, not was seized. Assets are always plural. We cannot omit as to make it singular. Clear? This is our rule number 11. Now we are moving to our last rule, that is rule number 12. News, innings, politics, summons, physics, economics, ethics, mathematics, mumps, rickets, shingles, billiards, athletes, etc. look plural, but they are singular verb. Why they look plural? They have s at the end of it. Ethics. Ethics is there. Ethics, because s is there, we suppose it is plural, but they are always singular. They are always singular. News. News. S. Because of s, we think it is plural, but no, it is always singular. Because it is singular, we use singular subject. We use singular verb with it. Okay. For example, this is a good news. We are talking about news. So in this case, we will use singular verb, which is not are. This are good news. No, this is good news. Why? The news is singular. Okay. Politics is a dirty game. Why? Politics is treated as singular subject. In this case, we will use is. Okay. Not politics are dirty game, but politics is a dirty game. Clear? Physics is a boring subject, not physics are boring subject, but physics is a boring subject because physics is a singular verb. Clear? So, did you like my class? Please note, please write down in the comment box if you have any suggestion, if you still have any doubt, any query, any of the suggestions you have, you can write down in the comment box. This is very important topic and you have to keep in your mind. Without reading this topic, you cannot go for any competitive exams, because in every competitive exams at least one question is asked. Okay, so what you have to do is, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe my channel so that you can get more videos, similar videos on the next other topics, and press the bell icon so that you can get the notifications of my next videos. Thank you so much for joining my class. Have a good day. Good luck.